Hey everyone, welcome back to another CollectA review. Today we're going to take a look at their 2021 Dilophosaurus. So before I begin this review, I want to start off with some sad news. Anthony Beeson, the lead designer behind the Prehistoric animal model lines of CollectA, just recently passed away. And Anthony approved almost every single prehistoric animal model figure that we currently have in our collection. He was an expert in paleo imagery, and it's a shame to see him pass away, so my condolences to his family. And let's just take a moment to appreciate all the awesome figures that he's approved over the years that are sitting in our collections right now. Like I always say, CollectA does a wonderful job of balancing scientific accuracy and affordability. Now, getting back to this figure, I know I'm extremely late reviewing this. That is because I completely forgot about this release. It came out near the end of 2021. There was a lot coming out from PNSO and other companies, and I just kind of forgot about it. And then when I was ordering the figures from Mini Zoo, that's where I got this figure from, the new 2022 figures, I ended up seeing it, so I added it to my cart, and now I finally have it in hand. So yes, I am very late reviewing this. Now, this figure retails for around $10. Like I say, CollectA is always very affordable. There's a lot of companies competing for our dino dollars now, but CollectA always finds a spot in my collection because their figures are just so affordable. Now, this figure is part of their standard prehistoric models line. You do get a little tag on the foot that does not give you any information about Dilophosaurus, unlike their deluxe figures, which does give you some little tidbits about the species. I kind of wish they would do that for their standard figures. So enough about that. Let's get this thing up on the turntable and take a closer look. And let's stop in this 360-degree view of the Dilophosaurus. So back in July of 2020, a new study came out about Dilophosaurus, which kind of changed our perspective about this very popular dinosaur species, especially thanks to Jurassic Park. So Dilophosaurus is considered one of the largest early Jurassic carnivores of North America, but it was also considered kind of weak, like the jaw muscles weren't really strong. It was kind of like a fragile animal. So a new study was conducted, and I'm not fully going to go into it because it is an absolute ton of stuff. A lot of the original materials reconstructed with plaster, and some of the the early description was based off those reconstructed materials. So a couple paleontologists went back and reevaluated all that Dilophosaurus material, and what we got is a much more bird-like animal that was a lot stronger than was previously perceived. They changed the head crest around. The animal was much stronger than earlier thought, and CollectA is always on top of the latest scientific things going on in the dinosaur world, and they turned out this figure pretty quickly. I think the study came out in July of 2020, and then beginning of 2021, boom, they have a new Dilophosaurus figure ready to go. And that's one thing I love about CollectA. They are very quick to turn all that new scientific knowledge into a new figure. And let's talk about the color scheme really quick. It's a nice unofficial homage to the Jurassic Park novel Dilophosaurus. I think if they just added a little bit of green for the underbelly, this could have been an unofficial, novel colorization of Dilophosaurus. It's just mostly yellow with these dark brown stripes and a bright red head crest. Pretty simple color scheme, but it does look pretty natural. Those head crests were there for a reason, so of course they need to be flashy. So all around, a pretty decent, new accurate reconstruction of this animal. And now for some quick measurements. This figure, if you measure along the curve of the tail, is 7.5 inches long and just over 3 3/4 inches tall. So Dilophosaurus in real life was around 23 feet long. So that'll put this figure somewhere in the 136 scale range. So if you collect a 135 scale, this figure is going to fit nicely into your collection. And now let's zoom and take a look at some of the finer details on this figure, starting with the head. Now, the head sculpt is probably the biggest change on this new Dilophosaurus compared to previous Dilophosaur figures. The new study, like I said, there's a lot to it. If you want to check out that study, I'll leave a link in the description. It's really long, and there's a lot of neat stuff in there to read up if you're really into dinosaurs. So the crest is definitely bulked and beefed up. It was most likely covered in a keratin sheath, and my camera hates hates focusing on this figure for some reason. So yeah, the crest is bulked up. You know, it had like air pockets in it. It was kind of almost like bubble wrap to reinforce this. It being really, really fragile. It was a little bit thicker. In real life, you can see the eye is painted straight black, which is, you know, the case for like 99% of CollectA's figures, kind of like their signature look. The teeth are painted a nice white color. Really no sloppy paint on mine. The whole body is just cast in this bright yellow plastic highlighted by these dark brown stripes. Looking inside the mouth to see if my camera will like doing that. It's painted a matte pink coloration, and here is a view of the crests. From the top, you can see they are definitely much more beefed up, and some really, really nice fine details all over the crest. I wish there was a little bit of paint on the gums on the jaw just to kind of break up the head just a little bit. And then going down to the neck, you got these large scales that pop up, and they go all the way down to the very, very tip of the tail. Going down to the forearms, nice muscular and powerful looking forearms. The hand claws are decked out in a dark brown paint. Turn the figure over, you can see the underside of the neck, belly, and tail are all done with white paint. And since we got the figure turned over, let's do it a little bit early in the review. Let's do our CollectA dirty cloaca check, and there it is right there, the flavor blasted classic CollectA cloaca. And then going down to the body, you get some really nice scale detail all over the body. Some more of those dark brown markings. Going down to the thighs, really thick, muscular looking thighs. And then going down to the feet, yes, the feet are oversized. And ever since CollectA has gotten away from bases the last couple of years, I've been kind of critical of these big oversized feet. I like the bases. They didn't bother me. They bothered some collectors, but the feet were at least proportionate when they did that. And I'm just not a fan of these big feet. Obviously, they help greatly with stability, but yeah, I just kind of wish bases came back. And then looking at the toes, you can see they are painted in the same brown paint as the stripes. You even got the dew claw decked out right there. And come on, camera, there we go. And then going down to the rest of the body of a nice thick muscular tail base. Some more of that brown striping all the way down to the tip of the tail. So yeah, a really, really nice Dilophosaurus figure. Like I say, I always commend CollectA for being, yes, there we go. See, those big feet do keep it stable, except in my jittery hands. Yeah, CollectA is always ahead of the game when it comes to updating dinosaurs when like a new study comes out, and this Dilophosaurus is proof of that. Moving on with comparisons, let's first start off. Here comes the little, 140 scale guy that comes with most of their deluxe figures. If he was just a hair taller, it'd give you a good representation of how big Dilophosaurus was in real life. And now let's do some other Dilophosaur figures from other companies. First up, here is Safari's limited 2019 Dilophosaurus. Safari seems to have gotten the shaft the last few years. They release a new updated figure, then a new study will come out and say no, it looked totally different. But for the time, 2 years ago, this is a good representation of Dilophosaurus. We have a much more sleeker, fragile looking animal. We have the really paper thin head crest on this figure. So yeah, like I said, CollectA is very quick to do a turnaround on their figures, but Safari yet again did the same thing happen with their Edmontosaurus, brand new Edmontosaurus, and then that Dakota specimen with the giant stupid thumbnails comes out, and then everyone just rushes to add those big thumbnails to their figures. And next up, here is Papo's version of Dilophosaurus. This figure came out years ago, and it's a kind of a beefy, bulkier looking animal. And I have to say, in hindsight, I think this is good, pretty close to what the new study of Dilophosaurus looks like. The head crests are kind of thick, really powerful looking jaws. A lot of people were kind of hit or miss on this Dilophosaurus figure. I should probably go back and actually review this, but with the new study, I think this Dilophosaurus figure is pretty good. And lastly, for Dilophosaurus figures, here is Rebor's take on it. Will it stand? Yes, it will. This is clearly based off the Jurassic Park version, which is really not that accurate now, but that's part of the reason why Dilophosaurus is so popular, is because of Jurassic Park. And now let's compare it to some Neotheropoda. These are dinosaurs that are related to Dilophosaurus. First up here is Batats, Cryolophosaurus, and next up is Safaris, Monolophosaurus, and lastly, another safari figure. Here is their Dilophosaurus. And let's finish this up with some CollectA comparisons. First up, here it is with their Deluxe Ceratosaurus. And next up, let's zoom out a little bit because this is a big figure. Here it is with the previously reviewed. Let's move Mr. Log over just a little bit. Here it is with their Deluxe Swimming Spinosaurus. And lastly, always going to do it. Everyone needs to see every figure ever made compared to a T-Rex. Here it is with their Deluxe Feathered T-Rex. So, final thoughts on CollectA's new Dilophosaurus. I think it's a good figure. You know, for $10, you really can't complain too much about CollectA's figures. Like I said, they're always very affordable, and they're so quick to update, give us an updated version of a dinosaur when a new study comes out, and this Dilophosaurus is clear proof of that. It's by far not a perfect figure. You know, I'm just not a big fan of those oversized feet. I really, really wish they would bring bases back. Maybe sometime in 2003, maybe they will do that. I don't know. But, you know, like I said, for $10, it's a good figure, and it's currently the most accurate Dilophosaurus figure on the market because it reflects that new study. By the way, the link is down below in the description. Another bonus point of this figure is it's 1/35 scale, which will fit into a lot of people's collections. So it has that going for it. And I've always been kind of partial to Dilophosaurus. You know, my area, I live in New England, and if you're familiar with Massachusetts and the Connecticut area, the Connecticut River has a lot of dinosaur footprints, and there's a lot of footprints of Eubrontes, which is attributed to either Dilophosaurus or a Dilophosaur-like dinosaur, which I've seen many times. It's always cool just to take, like, you know, an hour drive and go check out the footprints. So yeah, Dilophosaurus has always kind of held a special part in my heart over the years. Like I said at the beginning of the review, I got this figure from Mini Zoo. Link is down below in the description if you want to order this figure for yourself. So that will do it for the review. Still have some newer stuff coming in. I got the ancestor models. Edmontosaurus, still waiting for the Namu Parasaurolophus to get released from customs. It's been stuck there for a while now, and some more new stuff coming in. So stay tuned for all those new reviews. And as always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously, and it's greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.